Hello friends, good morning. My name is Akash Khobragade. I am a coordinator at Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge and PhD scholar. Professor Dr. Karunyakara sir, and his idea behind his institution to provide an academic space to professors, doctors, social scientists, and scholars who are engaged in the field of Dalit studies. Karunyakara Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge going to have its 44th lecture today, and this lecture going to be delivered and chaired by Professor Dr. Karunyakara sir. So I like to welcome and introduce him. So Professor Dr. of the book History of Dalit Identity and Modernization of Buddhism. After completing his PhD from JNU, New Delhi, Dr. Karunyakara joined as assistant professor in School of Ambedkar Studies, Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, a central university, Lucknow. He introduced the Dalit history course in MA history program. He was instrumental in the instrumental in introducing 50% reservation for SC/ST students in the BB. He founded Ambedkar University Dalit Students Union in 2000 and Babasaheb Ambedkar Central University SC/ST Teachers Association in 2006. He joined as director cum professor in Babasaheb Ambedkar Sidhu Kanun Murmu Dalit and Tribal Studies Center, Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya. He held post of Dean of School of Culture and former Vice Chancellor of the University. Thank you, sir. I welcome Professor Dr. Karunyakara sir for today's lecture. Now I request Professor Dr. Karunyakara sir, please deliver his lecture. He is going to speak on Annihilation of Caste, Ambedkar Text 5, Part 5. Thank you.
Shalom, Jai Bhim, and good morning to everyone. Wish you all happy 200th Mahatma Phule birth anniversary. This is a special occasion today, 11th April. That is birth anniversary of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, who laid the foundation for modern education, excluded communities. So let us today celebrate the 200th birth anniversary of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule by giving a big applause. Open all your mics and give a big applause to Mahatma Jyotirao Phule's contributions. We must recognize. Yeah. Thank you, friends. Now let's back to our today's lecture. As we know very well that we are continuously conducting lectures on Annihilation of Caste, a text, a speech undelivered by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. We'll be having Ambedkar Jayanti on April 14th, and KIDK lecture is the same today's lecture, which is dedicated to Ambedkar Jayanti lecture. So we'll be not having any special lecture to Babasaheb Ambedkar on Ambedkar Jayanti, for the reason that we'll be having a lecture on 11th. So this lecture again, not only Mahatma Phule's birth anniversary, this lecture is dedicated to this lecture. Today's lecture is also dedicated to Babasaheb Ambedkar's Jayanti. So let us celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti today by recognizing Ambedkar's contributions to the whole India as well as the communities which excluded hitherto. Give a big hand and big claps, applause to Babasaheb Ambedkar on the occasion of Ambedkar Jayanti, which will be held on 14th April. So I want everyone to say Jai Bhim. I want everyone to say Jai Bhim. Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim. Jai Bhim. Jai Bhim.
Yeah, everyone, kindly open their videos and say Jai Bhim. Say Jai Bhim. Everyone should say Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim. Jai
Jai
Bhim.
Bhim. Jai Bhim. Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim.
So we will be not having any lecture on 14th April, and 14th April we will celebrate Ambedkar Jayanti in different places. So from KIDK, this is the lecture which is dedicated to Ambedkar Jayanti also. So now we are talking about Annihilation of Caste. That's a undelivered lecture of Baba Sahib Ambedkar. This is the fifth part of that lecture. The first part we talked about how Ambedkar refused to participate is anti-caste movement. Even if it's an anti-caste movement, if that leadership of that movement is in the hands of non-Dalits, Ambedkar don't want to participate it. That's a point number one. That's what I discussed in the part 1 of my lecture on Annihilation of Caste. Part 2, Ambedkar talked about political reform. Part 2, Ambedkar talked about political reform, where we discussed that political reform means before the political reform, there should be a social reform. So whoever involved in politics, if they want to listen seriously to Ambedkar, Ambedkar said, if you want a political power, first you start a social movement. Without social movement, without social reform, without social power, you cannot have a permanent political power. So Ambedkar gave many examples in his lecture that I'm not going to repeat, which we discussed in the part 2 of the Annihilation of Caste. Now part 3 is about the economic power, economic reform. Part 2 is about political reform. Ambedkar said political reform comes only after the social reform. Now part 3, it was about political economic reform. Ambedkar was talking about socialist and communist in that lecture, in that part, which I discussed that what Ambedkar said about socialist and communist view. Ambedkar was very clear. Even economic reform, that can happen only after the social reform. When the society is unequally designed, even if you have an economic movement, economic reform never going to happen. Why? Because society itself is designed in such a way that any movement, political or economic reforms, movements, going to fail. So the first step should be social reform. That's what Ambedkar argued in the part 2, part 3 parts of the Annihilation of Caste. Many of us believe that political party, political power, political movement is most important. What we forget is that the foundation of political power is social reform, social movement. Communist people, socialist people argue that once you get the money, once you economically wealthy, then you will be respected. You will get everything. But that's not the truth. Ambedkar says that a poor Brahmin saint, he is, even wealthy people bow before illiterate or poor Brahmin saints. Why it is so? So Ambedkar says that it is a social reform, social system need to be first addressed. That is the second part 2, part 3 lectures. At the 4th lecture, we were talking about annihilation of caste. Though Ambedkar talked about how the caste exists in Islam and Christianity, though Quran and Bible not support the caste system, however, Muslim society in India, Christian society in India have the caste. Hence, even if a Dalit becomes a Christian, a Dalit becomes a Muslim, caste is not going to die. Caste is going to be there. Whichever side you turn, caste virus will appear before him. That's what Ambedkar talked in his writings. Based on that, though it is not exactly in this annihilation of part 4, however, we dedicated one lecture on that. Could annihilation of caste be possible if Dalit embraces any religion? The conclusion is that no, it's not possible. Look at the Buddhists. Buddhism is a religion of equality. Ambedkar embraced Buddhism. Ambedkar himself embraced Buddhism with the aim that Buddhism could establish caste-less society in India. But what happened? Even after conversion to Buddhism, Dalit Buddhists are getting scheduled caste reservation. It means in Buddhism as a religion, no caste. But in Buddhist society, there is a caste. Why? Because be it a Buddhist society, be it a Christian society, be it a Sikh society or Muslim society or Hindu society, caste is a fundamental identity of every Indian. Caste is not born in Buddhist religion. Caste is not born in Sikh religion. Caste is not born in Christian religion. Caste is not born in Muslim religion. But caste is not been born in Islam. But caste is born only in Hindu religion. However, caste is in every Indian society. Caste is in Sikh Indian society, Buddhist Indian society. Caste is not there in caste is not there in Sri Lankan Buddhist society. Caste is not there in Vietnam Buddhist society. Caste is only in Indian society. Caste is not there in European Christian society. Caste is not there in American Christian society. Caste is there only in Indian Christian society. So the question is, you are Buddhist, you are Sikh, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, all your religions teach equality. But if you are Indian, you are Indian Christian, you are Indian Buddhist, you are Indian Sikh, you are Indian Muslim, you will be having a caste. Because Indian society, caste is a core identity of Indian society. You can reduce the caste impact spiritually, theologically. Why? Because your religion doesn't support caste. If you become a Christian, you can reduce the caste impact, because theologically and spiritually, your religion don't support caste. Sikhism is the same, Islam is the same, but you have to live in the society, not in the church, not in the mosque. You have to live in the society. When it comes to society, it's an Indian society. In Indian society, caste is a fact. Caste is a primary identity. So without reforming the Indian society, even if we embrace any religion, caste will not be annihilated. Even if we forget about the religion, even if we go to America, today in America, there is a demand to ban the caste in American society. If two Indians are becoming a Christians in America, there is a caste. Look at that lady. What's her name? American Vice President during the Joe Biden administration.
Kamala Harris.
Huh?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. She was born to a black father. So she is regarded as a black American, but born to a Indian mother. And she used to visit Chennai. Her mother, her grandparents belonged to Brahmin. So when she was contesting for president elections, many Brahmins in India supported her, celebrated her. Many Brahmins went to the temple should become a president of America. So Kamala Harris was born in America, racially claimed to be a black. By religion, she is a Christian. Legally, she is an American. Still, there's a caste with her. Indian, even if after death, caste is there. Hence, religious conversion can reduce the impact of caste because other religions theoretically don't support, non-Hindu religions theoretically don't support caste. But practically, in Indian society, the caste is a basic identity. For Indian, Kamala Harris to Indian lineage. Her mother is Indian. For that reason, her identity is celebrated by the Brahmins as a Brahmin. It means caste never going to die. Caste identity is never going to die. If you really want to annihilate the caste, what you have to do? First, you have to change the foundations of Indian society. Without changing the foundations of Indian society, there is a caste. That is the reason why Ambedkar and lakhs of Dalits followed Ambedkar, embraced Buddhism. Lakhs of Ambedkarites, lakhs of Buddhists converted to Buddhism. Why? To get rid of the caste. But today what happened? All converted Buddhists, Dalit Buddhists are having scheduled caste reservation, caste-based reservation. Mahar. It has become a synonym of Mahar in Maharashtra. If you say I am a neo-Buddhist, people understand that you are Mahar. So caste is not going anywhere. Then no. That's what Ambedkar says. Whichever side you turn, caste will be there. In the fourth part of the lecture. Now, the fifth part of the lecture on annihilation of caste is about division of laborers. See, Ambedkar was very clear about each part he was giving he's taking up a theme, one particular theme, and discussing on that in every part in the annihilation of caste. So in this part, we are talking about division of labor. The most important book among the books written by, all books written by Ambedkar. Because if this one particular statement, and this is not a statement, it's a theory. It's a new framework. It has changed the whole paradigm. It system is not a division of labor, it's a division of laborers. The supporters of caste system always claim that caste system is a division of labor. Society needs some people to be priests. Society needs some people to be warriors. Society needs some people. Society needs some people to be manual laborers. Society needs some people to be scavengers. This is their argument to support the caste system. But Ambedkar said, this is not the division of labor. Peripherally, it looks like that is a division of labor. It's a division of laborers. When Marxism was, when Ambedkar was alive, there was a slogan by the Marxists, given by the Marxists. What was that? All laborers should unite. Laborers of the world, laborers all over the world should unite. Ambedkar said Indian laborers are not going to unite. Why? Because Indian laborers are divided by the caste. In European society, laborers are united against the haves, the industrialists, the rich people, those who are having their industries. So working class united against the managerial class, owners in European society. But Indian society, working class can't unite. Why? Because working class, the laborers, are divided by the caste. A Brahmin labor, a Brahmin worker never unite with a Dalit worker, because both caste interests are different. Though their economic interests are same, but their social interests are different. Is not going to be successful because they give more importance to economic power. But economic power comes only after the social power. Let me read out Ambedkar, very interesting. Because this is very small, 2 paragraphs only. So if I read it, I can give authentically what Ambedkar exactly said. Quote, it's a pity that caste even today has its defenders. It was written in 1936. Friends, Ambedkar was writing during the British time. Ambedkar was writing, it is a pity that caste even today has its defenders. Today is 2026. Even today also, there are people who defend the caste. Am I right or not? So Ambedkar's statement given some 100 years back. Even today it's right. Why it is so? Why? Because caste is a faith. For many people, caste is a faith. It's a pity that caste even today has its defenders. The defenses are many. It is defend. The caste system is but another name for division of labor. How the caste people defend, the supporters of caste system, how they defend? They say that the another name of the caste system is division of labor. As I said, society needs some people to be politicians, warriors. Some people need to be giving their time for the religious affairs. Some people need to be businessmen, traders. Some people need to be manual laborers. This is a caste system. Vaishyas are doing the trading work, business, and Shudras are doing the manual labor. Remember, Dalits and Adivasis are not part of the Varna Vyavastha. Try to understand. Shudra doesn't mean Dalit. Dalits are not Shudras. Unless you understand the basics, you cannot understand the caste system. The caste narrative you must understand. Dalits and Adivasis are not Shudras. They are not part of the Varna Vyavastha. In the Varna Vyavastha, there are only 4 Varnas: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. As on today, if you want to apply Brahmin, you know who is a Brahmin. Kshatriya, you know who is a Kshatriya. Vaishya, you know who is a Vaishya. When it comes to Shudra, you have a confusion. Don't get confused. Majority of Shudras are backward caste, OBCs. Remember, all Shudras are not OBC. All Shudras are not OBC, but all OBCs are C. But all OBCs are, all backward castes are Shudra. Let me rephrase it. All Shudras are not backward castes, not OBCs. All Shudras are not backward castes, not OBCs. But all OBCs, all backward castes are Shudra. It means Shudra Varna has 2 kinds of Shudras. One is upper Shudra, another one is backward Shudra. Upper Shudra, like this upper Shudra people claim Kshatriya status because this upper Shudra are land owning communities. Those who have lands, these land owning communities are upper Shudra. And some elite non-Aryan communities are upper Shudra. So land owning communities upper Shudra, who are they? Maratha, Jat, Gujjar. These are all land owning communities. Historically, elite community, which is Shudra. Who is that? Kayastha. If you look into the ancient history, there was a big fight between Brahmins and Kayasthas. Long back. The movie name Shudra. Movie name was a Shudra. But there was a confusion he created. He included untouchables as a Shudra. No. And many Dalits also went to the movie. They made that movie highly successful commercially. Dalits are very emotional. Whoever talk about their issue, they will touch their hearts. Immediately they become emotional. One JBM is enough to misguide the Dalit. This man, Mr. Srivastava, made a movie called Shudra. Srivastava was a Shudra, there is no doubt, because he is a Kayastha. But people misunderstood that untouchables, the present day Dalits, are Shudras. No, Dalits are not Shudras. So upper Shudras, Kayastha, and landed communities like Jats, Gujars, Patels, Marathas, Reddy, Kamma, Kapu in Andhra Pradesh. And Shashi Tharoor belonged to which community? One community is there in Kerala. What is that community name? And I know that unable to recall. Nayar, yes, Nayar. So these are all Shudra communities. They don't fit anywhere, but they were having lands. That's why they claim to be Kshatriya. There are many Shudras claim that they are Kshatriya. Yadavs are included as a backward caste. But Yadavs are though it is not an agricultural community, it is having milk-based business community, cattle. In ancient period, cattle is a property. It's a big property. Even today, dairy business is a big business. Milk. Like Teli, Narasabilam, he is also Apur Shudra. There's a business. Mandal Commission included Teli under the Mandal BC. So don't go by Mandal Commission, go by the history of India. So this, Yadavs, Telis, these are all Apur Shudra. That's why there is a demand by BCs, most backward BCs. They say that we want separate reservation. Mandal being a Yadav, Mandal, IAS officer, he was a Yadav. So he included Yadav community under the Mandal Commission. I was there they used to ask me curiously, hey, tell me, my Yadav community is there in the Mandal Commission or not? I used to tell, go and read here, why are you asking a Dalit guy? I used to tell them. So then, however, I should that don't worry. In Mandal Commissions, Yadavs are there. So Yadavs, Telis, what Mandal misdid is that Gujars and what is that? Jats. In Jats also some parts they become a OBCs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's why Gujars also fighting for the OBC reservation or tribal reservation. Something they are fighting. Gujars are OBC? No.
In some places they are OBC, but they are also want a scheduled tribe reservation in Maharashtra.
Right. So that's what. So if you go by the Mandal Commission, there are all confusion comes. Go by the history. So when you look at ancient history with the Mandal Commission, then you can divide the Shudra community into three categories: Upper Shudra, Backward Caste Shudra, Upper Caste Shudra, Backward Caste Shudra, right? And most Backward Caste Shudra. Upper Caste Shudra, you have Patel, Maratha, Kayastha, Jat, Gujjar, Reddy, Kamma, Nair. It's like that. These are all Upper Shudra. Backward Caste Shudra, Yadav, Teli, Kurmi. This is Backward Caste Shudra. Then you have a most Backward Caste Shudra. Most Backward Shudra means artisan communities. Potter, one who makes the pots. Then you have what is that? Nai, barber, Nai. These are all actually Shudra, real Shudra. The most backward Shudra is a real Shudra. If you understand Shudra as a manual labor, working class, the real working class is Shudra. Whether the Upper Shudra, Backward Shudra, or most backward Shudra, the Shudra by definition they are really working class. Labor, physical labor. So the most backward Shudra, try to understand. If you don't understand, the Shudra is the most mysterious, most secretly kept identity. So without understanding the Shudra identity, you can't understand the whole Indian history. And India is a Shudra, Shudra is India. That's a fact. Like a Brahmin is a minority, Dalit also minority. We used to talk, SC, ST, OBC, like, no. That's a politically fine. As long as you are opposing the dominant communities. But when it comes to history, that's not fine. India is a Shudra, Shudra is a India. Because majority Indian population is a Shudra. If Shudra is educated, India is educated. If Shudra is a backward, India is a backward. And unfortunately, majority Shudras are backwards. Only less percent of Shudras are you adopt. Professor Karunyakara defines Shudra on the basis of history as well as Mandal Commission. Then there are three categories of Shudras. Upper Shudra, backward Shudra, and most backward Shudra. Upper Shudra, as I said, in North India, Upper Shudra, Patel, Maratha, Kayastha, Gujjar, Jat. These are all Upper Shudra. Kayastha most powerful in West Bengal. Shudra. These are all Upper Shudra. And some of these, and most of these Upper Shudra claim, what they claim? Kshatriya status. And Mandal Commission kept Yadavs under the Yadav Kurmi, under the Lodi. Yadav Kurmi Lodi under the backward caste category. But Yadav Kurmi Lodi also claimed to be Kshatriya. So Mandal Commission should not keep these three under the OBC category. They should have kept them under the Upper Shudra category. But they are educationally backward. They are educational backward. Historically, they may claim Kshatriya. If they are claiming Kshatriya, if Yadav want to be Kshatriya, he should be Upper Shudra. If Kurmi wants to be Kshatriya, he should be Upper Shudra. If Lodi want to be Kshatriya, he should be Upper Shudra. Why? Because Upper Shudras are dominant landed communities, and some Kayastha, Nayar kind of people. They are highly educated communities, even in ancient period. Community. They are all Upper Shudra, they claim Kshatriya status. Backward Shudra, they don't claim Kshatriya status, though try to understand, there is a mix-up by the Mandal Commission. This Yadav, Kurmi and Lodi, Mandal Commission brought them under the OBC category because they are educationally backward. Socially not backward. Educationally backward. Economic non-Shudras. But in comparison to Upper Shudra, socially not backward. Yadavs are as dominant as Marathas of Maharashtra. Yadavs of UP are as dominant as Marathas of Maharashtra. Patels of Gujarat, Nayars of Kerala. Then why the Yadavs are under Mandal Commission? So socially they are not backward. Economically they are not backward. But educationally they are backward. That's why they are kept under the backward community. So backward Shudras, who are the backward Shudras? The second category of the Shudra, Yadav, Yadav, Kurmi, Lodi, Teli. Teli is another community. It's a wonderful community. It's a business class. Most of them follow the Banyas of the Trivarna, Aryan Trivarna Banyas. Then so try to understand. As far as Professor Karunyakara historical perspective goes, Shudras are Dravidians who are converted to Aryan culture. All Shudras, North Indian Shudras also Dravidians converted to Aryan culture. All Shudras, don't think that the Dravidian is only South Indian. No. All Shudras, North Indian Shudra, South Indian Shudra, all Shudras. Now come to the most backward Shudra. Who is this most backward Shudra? The real backward caste. The real backward caste, the real Shudras, the most backward caste. Who are they? These people are artisan classes. They are the producers of the material producers. They are the material producers. Who are they? Who are they? Kumbar, potter, is the most backward class. Potter. Then barber, nai, barber, hair cutter, right? Then tell me, what are you looking at me? Give me inputs.
लोहार सर, लोहार, बढ़ई,
Lohar, ironsmith.
कहार, कहार,
Huh? Pardon me?
कहार सर, एक नॉर्थ इंडिया में सर एक कास्ट है कहार।
Kahar. What they do? What they do?
करते हैं सवर्णों के यहाँ।
Fine. So means Christian community and doing some manual work during the marriages, during the water providing the water providers during the marriages.
Yes.
So it's like
Yes.
So this thing. What I'm trying to say that they are the most backward class. So Mandal Commission, being a Yadav, he didn't divide the Mandal reservation into most backward class and backward class. He kept into one category. There must be a serious demand. It should be a two, because you see, when you look at the history, it's a clear. It's a very clear. There are upper Shudras. See, this Mandal Commission backward caste reservation is meant for the Shudras. Meant for the Shudras. And within the Shudras, there are some upper Shudras whom we talk Savarna or upper caste. But they are not Aryans. The true upper caste, true Savarnas are, true general caste are Aryans, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya. They became, when they are converted to Aryan culture, they became Shudra. Dravidian became a Shudra after conversion to the Aryan culture. So within the Aryan system, the Dravidians are regarded as a Shudra. And within the Shudra, there are three kinds of Shudras. Upper Shudra, backward Shudra, and most backward Shudra. So Mandal Commission should give reservation, separate reservation to the most backward Shudra. So there should be. But since Yadavs are opposing the division of the backward caste reservation, no government is ready to divide. And most backward people don't have any political voice. There is no strong leadership. Try to understand one thing. Any community, by producing the population, by increasing their population, cannot have a dominant position in the society. Just because of you produce, some people say that no, we will increase the Hindu population. Some people say that we will increase the Muslim population. Some people say that we will increase the Brahmin population by producing more children. So by increasing the population, you cannot have control over the society. You cannot have a control over the system. You cannot have a control over the state. You can have a dominant position in the society only by producing the thinkers. You need to produce the thinkers in your society. Why today Dalit community is the most strong? They are very minority. What is their population, Dalit population? Hardly 16%, or maximum 18%. 100 out of 100, they are 18%. And ex-untouchables. Today even they are discriminated. You find very few Dalits. They can say proudly that they are Dalit. Even today, IAS officers, Dalit IAS officers, Dalit vice chancellors, Dalit professors, Dalit doctors, they hide their Dalit identity. That is the real position of the Dalits. Even then, Dalits' power is more visible in the society. Why? Through Ambedkar. Ambedkar is really worked for the whole India. Ambedkar really worked for all the people, all the categories of the Indian society. Even then, Ambedkar's core identity associated with the Dalit. So Ambedkar philosophy gives power to the Dalit. So what every society has to do, they need to produce what? Thinkers. During Congress government, Gandhi and Nehru were the topmost thinkers. When BJP came, BJP brought Ambedkar to the mainstream. My understanding is such that during Congress government, Congress gave the space for the Ambedkarites, but not to the Ambedkar. BJP government giving more space to Ambedkar than to the Ambedkarites. So next, the next phase will be both Ambedkar and Ambedkarites in the system. Because Congress for the Ambedkarites, BJP bringing the Ambedkar. Now the third phase, whichever government comes, doesn't matter. Ambedkarites are going to be very powerful in the system. So whoever is not Ambedkarite, try to become an Ambedkarite today itself. So that the coming generation, coming government will make that Ambedkarite along with Ambedkar in a powerful position. So my invitation to all people who are not yet joined Ambedkar, join Ambedkar and become a powerful in coming days. So Ambedkar and Ambedkarites are already having a space in the system. When you look at the history of the Congress and BJP together, they have given slowly, but they have given space to both Ambedkar and Ambedkarites. Today there is a competition to own Ambedkar. Not Ambedkarites, Ambedkar. But in coming times, there is going to be Ambedkarites who are going to define the narrative, the Indian story. So in the future, in coming times, it is Ambedkarites through Ambedkar going to define India, the story of India. Ambedkarites through Ambedkar going to construct the narrative of India at global level. So Ambedkar is going to be more powerful in the coming times through Ambedkarites. So don't miss the bus this time. Don't miss the bus this time. So join Ambedkar. And caste will be annihilated. Because it's a notion. It's a just notion. By embracing, by converting to any religion, is not going to be defeated. Where you have lost your key, there you have to find the key. Cut the caste from the roots. By embracing religion, by converting religion, caste is not going to die. Caste is going to remain. Ambedkar converted to Buddhism, but Buddhists are having the scheduled caste reservation. Then what is the need of converting to Buddhism? Same is the case with Christianity. People convert into Buddhism and Christian religion to avoid the caste. And Buddhists are having the caste. That's why they are having the caste reservation. Dalit Christians also having the caste. That's why they are demanding the caste reservation. What does it mean? It means even though religion is based on no caste, equality. Religion is based on equality. Even then in India, caste is a reality. So that is the case. Now Shudras I explained. Upper Shudra, backward caste. That's the middle Shudra. Then lower Shudra. Lower Shudra means most backward caste. And Dalits and Adivasi are not part of a Shudra Varna. Don't misunderstand that Shudra means Dalits and Adivasi. No. Shudra doesn't mean Dalit. Shudra doesn't mean Adivasi. Shudra means Majority of Shudra, backward caste. Try to understand. And minority Shudra is a upper Shudra. I already explained who are they. Now, when communist people says that all laborers, all working class should unite. Tell me, anyone tell what is the basis of communism to bring the communist revolution? Unity of the working class. Unity of the
Laborers.
laborers. Yes, unity of the laborers. Unity of the working class. No unity of laborers in India. There may be unity of the laborers in Europe, in America, in Australia, or in Africa. But in India, there can't be a unity of laborers. It can't be. It means, what does it mean? It means communism, by definition, is a failure in India. Because the very basis, very foundation, the basic foundation of the communism is unity of laborers, unity of the working class. Without that, you can't bring communist revolution. Ambedkar says that caste system is such a thing, it divides the laborers. Caste system is a division of laborers. So very foundation of communism is not in accordance with the foundation of Indian society. So communism is useless. Communism has no utility. That's why look at the communist people. What is their ideology? Their ideology is nothing. Their ideology is nothing but agenda of the Muslims. Communist people, you just look at them, they only take up the secularism, issue of the secularism to support the Muslim issues. Here I am not saying that they should not do or they should do. I am not saying that communists should not support the Muslims. No, I don't mean that. It's up to the communists are supporting the Muslims. That's not my question. My question is that today communists, what their agenda, you look very clearly. Their agenda is a simple. In the name of the secularism, they support the Muslim rights. That's it. They are not talking about the unity of the working class. They are not talking about the unity of the laborers. Why? Why? Because Ambedkar dismantled the communist narrative in India. Ambedkar totally destroyed the communist narrative in India, communist foundation in India. Many people think that it's a right-wing people who destroyed left-wing people. No. Not right-wing people or left-wing people. No. It's Ambedkar. It's Ambedkarites. Many people, yes, they must be close to communists or leftists when they are opposing the rightists, right-wing people. But it is the Ambedkarites, it is the Dalits who destroyed the foundations of communism in India. Because of that reason, today communists are nowhere. Because communism in India is a foolishness. Why I say that? See, I don't say that all communist ideas, progressism, all that useless. I don't say that. Foundation is foolishness. Communist foundation is foolishness. Because communist foundation is based on working class unity. And communists, without destroying the caste, without annihilation of the caste, they want to bring the economic revolution. How could they bring? A Brahmin labor, Dalit labor, not going to unite. And you want to bring, and communist leadership totally in the hand, gone. So it is the Ambedkarism that questions the communism from the foundations, not the right-wing people. No. So Ambedkar clearly says that Indian caste system is division of laborers. Even if we accept that the caste system is a division of labor, society needs that's what Ambedkar the questions. Supporters of caste system says that no, it's a division of labor. Society needs some people in the society. They should give their time for the religious work. Then why only Brahmins? Forget about the Dalits. Forget about the Adivasi. Why not about the Shudras? Why can't Yadav, Kurmi, Teli, Naresh Kumar Sahu is here. He's a Teli. Naresh Kumar Sahu can become a Prime Minister of India or President of India, or Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. But can he become Pujari, Purohit, Archak in any famous Hindu temple? No. According to Agama Shastra, only Brahmin can become Pujari in a Hindu temple. So how do you say that it's a division of labor? If it is a division of labor like European society also division of labor. But there, any laborer, any worker can choose his occupation. Anybody can become a priest. Anybody can become warrior, soldier. Anybody can become businessman, trader. That's why Ambedkar says very clearly here, by not permitting readjustment of occupations, caste becomes a direct cause of much of the unemployment we see in the country. Look at it, what Ambedkar very clearly says. Ambedkar says very clearly, individual must be free to change his occupation. Ambedkar saying, why Yadav is not allowed to become a Pujari in the Hindu temple? Why Kurmi? Why not Kurmi? Why not Teli? I'm not talking. Look, they will tell the Shudras, hey, look, these Dalits want to become a Pujari. Then the whole our system will destroy. Then suddenly all Shudra people fight against the Dalits. Dalits should not be made a Pujari in the temples. So Dalits should not demand this Pujari occupation. Dalits should argue for the Shudra should become a Pujari. Dalit people should not demand for the Pujari post. Dalits should demand in this country. Why can't Maratha will become a Pujari in the temple? Why can't Patel will become a Pujari in the temple? Why can't Yadav? Why can't Teli? Why can't Kurmi? Why can't Lodi? They're all Kshatriyas, they can claim. But why can't you become a Pujari in the temple? Why not? That's why Ambedkar says, individual must be free to change his occupation. Then only it will become a division of labor. In the division of labor system, if caste system is a system of division of labor, if it is so, then why there is no freedom to change the occupation? Why only one caste, one race always have same occupation? So without such freedom, Ambedkar saying, quote, without such freedom to adjust himself to changing circumstances, it would be impossible for him to gain his livelihood. Now the caste system will not allow Hindus to take to occupation where they are wanted if they do not belong to them by heredity. If a Hindu is seen to starve rather than take to new occupation not assigned to his caste, the reason is to be found in the caste system. People will die, but they don't change their occupation. Now my question is that how many Brahmins, how many Kshatriyas, how many Vaishyas, how many Shudras ready to adopt leather work, stitching the chappals, shoes to overcome unemployment. How many are there? 0. Nobody will be ready. Nobody will be ready to take any occupation to avoid, to overcome their poverty. Why it is so? Caste system will not allow Hindus to take to occupation where they are wanted if they do not belong to them by heredity. If a Hindu is seen to starve, starvation means without food dying, even if he prefers to die, but he will not take to chappal stitching, shoe stitching, leather work occupation, scavenging occupation. Why it is so? Potter occupation. Will Brahmin take up the potter occupation? No. Will Kshatriya take up? Forget about the Dalita, the occupations which are regarded as without dignity. What about the potter? Will Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya will take up this potter occupation, barber occupation? Is there any Brahmin who is ready to who take up the barber occupation? Is there any Kshatriya to take up the barber occupation? Is there any Vaishya ready to take up the barber occupation? No. Why? Is there any Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya ready to take up the any other what is that? Washerman occupation? Washerman, washing the clothes. Is there any Brahmin ready to take up the washerman occupation? Is there any Kshatriya ready to take up the washerman occupation? Is there any Vaishya ready to take up the washerman occupation? They are not occupations done by the untouchables, so-called untouchables. They are the occupations done by the backward caste Shudras who are in your own system, within your cultural system, within your social system, Varna Vyavastha. But even then, you are not ready to take up their occupations. Why? That's why Ambedkar says, caste system will not allow Hindus to take to occupation where they are wanted if they do not belong to them by heredity. It's a heredity. Same caste people should do same work. If a Hindu is seen to starve, means Hindu is ready to die with the poverty, but he will not take up any other occupation not assigned by his caste. Ready to see, if a Hindu is seen to starve rather than to take new occupation not assigned to his caste. The reason is to be found in the caste system. By not permitting readjustment of occupations, caste becomes a direct cause of much of the unemployment we see in the country. Ambedkar is telling that the most important reason for the unemployment in this country is there is no dignity of labor. Nobody wanted the occupation of other caste. Everybody want to do occupation of their own caste or occupations given by the Western civilization. What is that? What is that? Software engineer, doctor, lawyer. These are all products of the Western civilization. All occupations, the modern occupations given by the Western civilization. So everybody was interested to the occupations given by the Western civilizations, like a doctor, engineer, chartered accountant, software engineer, lawyer, judge. These are all occupations, IAS officer, bureaucrats, clerks. These are all occupations not a part of our system. These are all occupations given by the Western civilization. So such occupations, everybody ready to do it. But the traditional occupations, nobody want to break it. When it comes to traditional occupations, nobody want to break it. Brahmin want to do the traditional occupation assigned to him by the caste. Because of this reason, Ambedkar says that there is an unemployment in India. One day one person was telling, you see, Varna Vyavastha collapsed. Every Varna should do their own occupation. We can overcome the unemployment. This is the argument. The argument, the people who are supporting the caste system, the people who are supporting the Varna system, their argument is that unemployment is there in India today because Varna system got works, traditional duties. There is no employment, there is no unemployment problem. But Ambedkar says in reverse. Ambedkar says that every Varna, every caste should do any job. Here Ambedkar is not talking about the Western civilization given jobs. Ambedkar is not talking about the modern civilization given jobs. Talking about the traditional civilization given jobs. Varna Vyavastha given jobs. Ambedkar says that Brahmin should take up any job. Shudra should take up any job, even if it is a traditional jobs. Try to understand. Today, the supporters of Varna Vyavastha, supporters of caste system is arguing that Varna Vyavastha should again revive, bring back the Varna Vyavastha. Every Varna, every caste should do traditional jobs given to them by the Varna Vyavastha, caste system. Then we will overcome the unemployment problem. This is the argument made by the supporters of the Varna system, caste system. Ambedkar writes, Ambedkar argument is that in reverse. Every caste, every Varna should adopt any traditional work, any traditional job. Then only unemployment problem will be overcome. So try to understand this. Now he says that, yeah, by not permitting readjustment of occupations, caste becomes a direct cause of much of unemployment we see in the country. This is Ambedkar's statement. As a form of division of labor, the caste system suffers from another serious defect. Even if it is a division of labor, even if it is a caste system is a division of labor, this is the biggest defect. It doesn't allow, if it is a division of labor, what it has to do, it should allow any Varna, any caste to take up any profession, any traditional profession. Why it is not allowing? It means there is a defect. Even if it is a division of labor system, it's a defect. The division, Ambedkar says, quote, the division of labor brought about by the caste system is not a division based on choice. So in the division of labor system, in the Varna Vyavastha, Varna system, it's not occupation by choice. It's an occupation by force. It's an occupation by birth. Individual sentiment, individual preference has no place in it. Even caste system, even Varna system is a division of labor system, but it has no place for the individual preference, individual sentiment. It is based on the dogma of predestination. You are in the past life, in the last life, you have done all sins. That's why you are born in the lower caste this life. It's a predestination. Even before your birth, your destiny is determined. You have to do this work only. Karma Siddhant, the concept, theory of karma, that Ambedkar is opposing it. Considerations of social efficiency would compel us to recognize that the greatest evil in the industrial system is not so much poverty and the suffering, and that it involves as the fact that so many persons having calling which make no appeal to those who are engaged in them. Such callings constantly provoke one to aversion, ill will, and the desire to evade. There are many occupations in India which are not to aversion. There is a constant desire to evade and escape from such occupations, which arises solely because of the blightening effect which they produce upon those who follow them, owing to the slight and stigma cast upon them by the Hindu religion. What efficiency can there be in a system under which neither men's hearts nor their minds are in their work? Organization, remember this is very important. As an economic organization, caste is therefore a harmful institution in as much as it involves the subordination of man's natural powers and inclinations to the exigencies of social rules. This is what Ambedkar talked about, why caste system is neither system of division of labor, it is nor a system that empower Indians. Caste system is purely a system of division of laborers. So this is what now today's lecture. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for delivering such a wonderful lecture for all of us.
Thank you,
And
sir.
now we are open this forum for question answer session. So please, those who want to
Can I ask some questions on regarding this lecture?
yeah, please, Amit Kumar, you go ahead.
Yeah, yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful lecture. I have some queries being a novice scholar. So, first of all, you said...
Akash, whoever wants to ask any questions, no, ask them to open the video, if possible.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. First of all, sir, you're talking about OBC status and the Mandal Commission. I think, sir, being a OBC, Mandal Commissions and also the OBC status based on the social justice movement. Though I think there is similarities between Ambedkarite philosophy and thought with social justice movement. In Northern Jadab, like Lalu Mulayam, their movement, and they never claim that they are Ambedkarite, but their activity and work basically their emancipations for the Dalit Bahujan. Second thing is, sir, I want to know, sir, the inter-caste conflict, like on community and also the individual. What will be the basically agency of Ambedkarite movement? We thought ki some material conflict are there in Dalit communities, like in UP, the Chamar are very dominant. They're not ready to share their material space with other Dalit communities. So in politics and also and some other material gain. So, and the second thing is the scholarship of Ambedkarite movement. So what will be the actual agency of Ambedkarite movement ki those who are not Dalit or Ambedkarite movement and Ambedkarite philosophy. So that is my questions and inquiries, sir. Thank you so much.
There are many questions you posed actually in your the arguments which you have raised, where you have posed many questions. Look, there are two kinds of movements. Dalit movement is basically a social movement. Political movement, economic movement, these are all secondary. For Dalits, it's basically a social movement. For Shudra, it's basically a political movement. Be it a OBC Shudra, be it a most backward Shudra, or be it a upper Shudra. Upper Shudra, of course, they join with the Aryan Trivarna, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Upper Shudra join with them. Backward caste Shudra, Kurmi, Lod, and what is that? Teli. These are all dominant backward caste Shudra. Their movement, they are actually representing the most backwards. Nai, Barbars, Kumars, the Potters, they are representing. My point is that there should be a separate reservation for these people because historically they are, though Mandal Commission put them under one single category called backward caste, OBC category. This middle caste Shudra, that Yadav and Lod and what is that? Yadav, Lod, Kurmi and what is that? Rakesh, what's that name? Community name? Teli. So this kind of, there are many, thousands of hundreds of castes are there. What I'm trying to say that representation should be, leadership space should be provided to these people. For that, we need separate reservation so that their representation will be there in the institution. Who for the most backward communities. That's what my argument here. Now the other one you were talking about how the dominant Chamar Namashudra, how they are why they are not sharing the material space with their own brethren, other non-Chamar, non-Namashudra communities. You see, material space to share the primarily the need to share emotional space. And emotional space comes only when owning the community. So far, Chamar is a Chamar, Namshudra is a Namshudra, Mahar is a Mahar. Now only slowly the Dalit identity is coming up all over India. Of course, there are many non-Dalits they're trying to destroy this Dalit identity. And many Dalit themselves, unknowingly misguided by the non-Dalits, many Dalits are trying to destroy the Dalit identity. As a result, Mahar and Namahar, Namshudra and Non-Mahashudra. Because of that reason, what happened? Since there is no emotional connectivity, there is no emotional space, there is no emotional owning. Chamar pain has to be owned by the non-Chamar. Non-Chamar pain has to be owned by the Chamar. Mahar pain has to be owned by the non-Mahar. Non-Mahar pain has to be owned by the Mahar. This comes only two identities are pan-Indian from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. One is Dalit, another one is Brahmin. Only two. Till few years, only Brahmin identity was there. Though Dalit identity is very ancient, but it was suppressed. It was destroyed from the literature. It was thrown out from the memories. When Dalit identity slowly coming up, there are many people again trying to destroy it by giving the negative meaning to the Dalit community. See, when you say Brahmin, you have a pride. Pride, I am a Brahmin. But when you say Dalit, I don't want to be Dalit, because Dalit is given a bad negative meaning. Now slowly Dalit is gaining the positive meaning, positive identity. I am working on that. I am the pioneer of that. In whole India, I am the pioneer. That that identity. Then only they can share their emotions with each other. So what happened? See, earlier what happened, if in Punjab some chamar is, murdered, or there is an atrocity. For example, in Maharashtra, look at it. There is a Karalanji atrocity. When you look, just go back to the history of the Karalanji, when atrocity happened in Maharashtra, I was in. There may be one or two awakened people are there, some organizations are there. Chamar as a community never bothered, never felt a pain. What happened to that Kailalanji? Because in the Kailalanji, what happened? It's a Mar family who got the who are murdered. Then Mahars were the people who owned that Mahar family's pain as their pain, and they took it as a big. They made it a big issue. They led a big movement in Maharashtra. But Mahars never led any movement against the perpetrators of the atrocity on Chamars in UP. Why it is so? Because Mahars never felt that they are same as the Chamars. They felt they are the different people. That's why Mahar never shared the pains of the Chamars. That was the case. Same is the case in Andhra Pradesh. If Andhra Pradesh will react from Maharashtra or UP. Why? Because for them, Mala Madhika, some South Indian scheduled caste. Because the scheduled caste category, it's only meant for the reservations and government benefits. It will not give any consciousness. It's a government given identity. So some people try to put the scheduled caste instead of Dalit. But scheduled caste identity is a government identity. Today, Chamar Mahar scheduled caste. In tomorrow, government, if government remove them from the scheduled caste list, President has the authority to remove only. Again, you fight between yourself. So, apart from Brahmin, today, if there is any identity, social community identity, which has all over India representation, that's only Dalit community identity. That is the reason many people want to destroy the Dalit identity. And that is the reason many people propagate negative meaning to the Dalit identity. Now coming back to your exact answer, the exact answer to your question, exact answer to your question. Any social sharing, there can't be a material sharing, there can't be a economic sharing. For that, you need to construct a community of which in which Chamar, Mahar, Namshudra, Mala, Madhiga, all the Dalit castes should unite in. You should feel like a one community. For that, I have a proposal. My proposal is that, like a Brahmin, there are many castes within the Brahmin. Chatpavan Brahmin, but Chatpavan is a caste. But he never says that I'm a Chatpavan. He says that Chatpavan Brahmin. Like that, Chamar should not say Chamar. He should say Chamar Dalit. Mahar should not say Mahar. He should say Mahar Dalit. Then what happened? All India identity, all India category can be constructed. So Dalit consciousness, when Dalit consciousness becomes a consciousness of Chamar and Mahar, then naturally Chamar and Mahar, Namshudra, all over, all of them, or all other castes within the Dalit race, they feel that they are one and same. Then what happened? Today you see, because of Dalit, how the Dalit entity is working. If somewhere in Jammu Kashmir any Dalit is beaten, you will find a reaction from the Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. Why it is so? Even in Tamil Nadu, some Dalit is beaten in atrocity against Dalit. You will find a protest even in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh everywhere, because Dalit identity is working that miracle. So, Mr. Amit Kumar, my answer is that no, political movement, social movement is different. Dalit movement is basically a social movement, whereas OBC, the Shudra movement is basically a political movement. Whereas, for OBC identity is a government given identity. You can't build, any society or structure on OBC identity. You need to have a Shudra identity only. That's why Kanchayalaya says that, I'm a Shudra. Kanchayalaya claims himself Shudra. He never says that I'm a OBC. This caste that comes under the OBC. But the OBC, SC, ST, EWS, these are all government given. Otherwise, they have no other utility. So social identities need to be built up. That's why Kanchayalaya writes that Shudra critic of Hindutva. He never said that Bahujan critic or OBC. Bahujan has another problem. Bahujan is a Kanshiram popular, whenever Kanshiram popularized identity, many backward castes have a problem. That's why Akhilesh Yadav started, instead of Bahujan, he started some PD or something like that. Pichada, Dalit, Alpasan, PD or something like that. Bahujan actually, it has a philosophy. But Manuel Kanshiram made it a political slogan. And majority, social majority, which Gautam Buddha talked, but Manuel Kanshiram talked is a political philosophy, in which SC, ST, OBC all come. Some confused people think that, Bahujan means Dalit. Some confused people think like that. Bahujan is not Dalit. Dalit has a space within the Bahujan. Dalit is a small within the Bahujan. Dalit is a Bahujan. Adivasi is a Bahujan. Shudra also Bahujan. These three together is a Bahujan. Dalit is not alone Bahujan. So the Bahujan identity never going to be Dalit identity. Can't replace the Chamar Mahar identities. Only Dalit can replace. So that there are much confusion because people like me don't involve in this WhatsApp university knowledge distribution. I involve in academics. So very few people read the academics things. That's a problem. Yeah, next.
Is there anyone who want to ask a question? Please go ahead.
Yes.
Yes, Asmita, carry on.
I did see that always upper caste Shudra doing the atrocities with lower caste Shudras. Always I did see this scenario in the villages properly. So that barber community migrated in the cities only. Very few communities live in villages. So give your opinion on that.
Yeah, sure. It's very good observation you made. This is what happening. This actually started in South India. South India is a highly urbanized region in comparison to North India. In Maharashtra, yes, Maharashtra is the first state to become an urbanized state, having the very having many cities. But however, the rapid urbanization happened in South India, particularly last some 20-30 years. Cities like, small cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Tirunanthapuram became, a big, highly urbanized, cities. Now, when I observe, I'll see, I'll take the case study of Hyderabad, where I have a first-hand, experience. Hyderabad, I could see, particularly more than this barbers, washermen. Very interestingly, washermen and Brahmins. Ambedkar gave a statement long back, even before independence. Listen to Ambedkar. Two communities, particularly two communities in Andhra Pradesh, they listen very seriously to Ambedkar. One is a Brahmin, another is a what is that? Washerman community. Of course, barber community also. Of course, barber community. You don't find a Brahmin. You don't find barber. You don't find washerman. Very difficult to find a barber to style your hair in the villages. Very difficult to find washermen to wash your clothes. Very difficult to find a Brahmin, if you are a Hindu, to conduct your all family ceremonies, rituals. It's very difficult. One man known to me, he searched some 4 districts to find a Brahmin priest to conduct some ceremony at his home. Why is so? It is so, it's a good actually. Why? Because as far as Ambedkar is concerned, village is the center, citadel of caste system. If you destroy the caste in the village, you will annihilate the caste. It's a good that people are migrating from the villages. Of course, Ambedkar said that to get rid of the caste, first you migrate from the village. Since all these people are migrating, Dalits are saying that since all the casteist people are, so they are settling in the village. I'm just making the fun of it. What I'm trying to say that urbanization really destroying the caste. Of course, caste is there in the urban settings also. You don't get the rentals. You don't get the any flat or house on rent if you don't disclose your caste. Once you disclose your caste, they will give the flat only based. They are displaying the boards. Flat is not on rent, but not for SC, ST. If OBCs are asking, they will ask that, do you eat mutton or chicken? Tell me. If you don't eat, then only we will give. All kinds of racism. But it's good that they are going out of the that. So that what happened? I could see that in Andhra Pradesh, particularly in Hyderabad, many colleges. Can you imagine if that washerman is in a village? Could he make his child to become engineer? No. But he came to the Hyderabad. There he gets, even if he is doing the same work, same washing work, ironing the clothes, but he is having the target that his children should become educated. That's what happening. Next 10-20 years, you don't find any washerman even in cities. So modernity, modern technology destroying the traditional occupations is good. Washing machines are there. Washing robots will become, once robots comes here, Elon Musk is telling that he is going to produce more robots than the population on the earth. So once the robots come to India, caste system will disappear. Nobody will be there to clean the gutters. Robot will clean the gutter. Whether you get the employment or not, one thing is sure. You will get the time to become educated. You don't need to do any other thing. I visualize that once robots, AI agents, I mean to say robots means, once the AI agent robots take up all the kinds of manual works, so people sit and do the work of thinking. They use their brains. Economy, all these things, that system will be redesigned as per the needs at that time. But as far as annihilation of caste is concerned, modernity always destroyed the caste. Modernity always destroyed the caste. Western thought always destroyed the caste. Western civilization produced occupations like doctor, engineer, chartered accountant. That's why some people oppose reservation in IITs. Why? They don't want us to become engineer. They oppose reservation in the medical colleges because they don't want us to become a doctors. Because this engineer, doctor, all these things, neither in the traditional jobs nor designed in India. They all came from outside. Modern accountancy, modern engineering. So there is a future. Caste will become just an identity. Casteism will become very weak. Casteism will become very weak. Casteism survives. Caste identity will survive. Listen to me. Annihilation of caste means we can annihilate the casteism. Caste will remain as an identity. Caste will remain. That's why I'm telling. Instead of saying Chamar, you say Chamar Dalit. Instead of saying Mahar, you say Mahar Dalit. Like a Chitpavan Brahmin. Chitpavan is a caste. Brahmin is a race. Dalit is a race. Chamar is a caste. The Chamar Dalit. Like that you say, if you, to my understanding, you belong to Nai community. Am I right? Yeah. You could say that, very proudly, Nai Shudra. Kanchayana says that he is Shudra. See, unless you take a pride in it, they keep on chasing you. Even if you hide in there also they'll say that, hey, you are Nai, hey, you are Chamar. They will say they're in America also. So where you go? Now Elon Musk wants to take all of us to Mars. Even if we go to Mars, if Brahmin and Dalit goes to Mars, there also there is Brahmin and Dalit also in Mars. So identity never going to die. Caste identity never going to die. Instead, you identify yourself with a broader racial identity. So for that, you have a Nai Shudra, Yadav Shudra, Lohar Shudra. It could be like that. It's up to the Shudras to decide. But as far as Dalits are concerned, my mission is to tell every Dalit that let there be a Mahar Dalit, Chamar Dalit. Because you can't avoid a Mahar Chamar identities. It's better to identify. See, Brahmin did that thing. Brahmin already did. No Brahmin says that he is a Chitpavan. He'll say the Chitpavan Brahmin. He is including the caste and race. Because otherwise, there is no relation between Chitpavan and Maharashtra. Iyer from Telangana. What is the relation between Chitpavan from Maharashtra, Chitpavan caste in Maharashtra, Iyer caste in Tamil Nadu? There is no relation. Then how do you put the relation? How do you make them emotionally feel one? Because they use the one identity, that is Brahmin. So Maharashtra Chitpavan people say that I am a Chitpavan Brahmin. Tamil Nadu Iyer person says that I am a Iyer Brahmin. So that Iyer Chitpavan don't relate, don't connect. But Brahmin connect. So then what happened? Maharashtra's Chitpavan and different when it comes to Chitpavan and Iyer identity. Same way, Chamar, UP, Maharashtra, if they want to become one, how? Being a Chamar, being a Mahar, they are different. Then how they become one? They become one only by Dalit. So they should say that Chamar Dalit, Mahar Dalit. This is what. Any other?
Anyone else who want to ask a question? Okay. The permission of the chair, I request Shashikant Sambodhi to please give official vote of thanks for today's lecture.
Thank you. On behalf of the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. It is my immense pleasure to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks for this enriching session. First and foremost, our deepest gratitude and warm regard to go to Professor Lila Karunyakara sir, a respected Dalit historian and a profound Ambedkar thinker. We are truly grateful to him for Ambedkar Text 5 Annihilation of Caste, Part 5. Professor is a former Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi University, Wardha, Maharashtra, and a renowned expert on Dalit affairs and Dr. Ambedkar writings. His insights today have greatly enriched all of us. We also extend our sincere thanks to all the participants and attendees who joined us for the 44th online lecture in the KIDK lecture series. A special word of appreciation dedicated coordinators, Dr. Sukeshni, Dr. Darshana, Dr. Smita, Mr. Akash, Mr. Shreyat, and Mr. Vijay for their tireless efforts and unwavering support in making this session a grand success. This lecture series, which we began on Ambedkar Jayanti 2025, continues to be a powerful platform for spreading Dalit knowledge, critical ideas, and new perspective in the field of Dalit studies. Thank you once again to everyone for your active and valuable participation. And before we conclude, please don't forget to subscribe to the Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel, where the recorded session will be uploaded shortly.